الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
Well, when we want to speak of the history of Hitler's National Socialist Germany, we can't ignore the history of Khazars and the Khazaria. Khazars were in an area on the northern parts of Iran, somehow in today's Russia. They were shamans, namely worshipping the occult energy behind the world we see with our eyes. Let me say in one phrase, worshipping the demons. And of course, have to say, their lifestyle and culture were full of demonic sigils. For example, the six-pointed sigil, which we call the Star of David today, it's originated in shamanism. Can you believe it? Well, they were nomadic people living in tents, and the amazing part of their story is that one day they converted to Judaism. But of course, not in real terms. They only acted as if they are followers of the commandments of the prophet Moses. Otherwise, they were all shaman, just like before, even after the so-called conversion to Judaism. As we said before, they were all nomads. They were so much after war, conquering lands. At some points of the history, they turned westward and attacked the Holy Roman Empire. And of course, after a while, after the conversion to Judaism, they were acting as if they are Jewish mercenaries for centuries, going to Europe, residing in countries like Germany and France. After a long period, Germany turned into chaos and misery, especially in the Weimar Republic after the World War I. A man named, as we know it today, Hitler, rose up in the name of fighting the Jews as the real reason behind the social, economic, and even moral corruption in Germany. He joined the National Socialist Party with a shaman flag. Can you believe it? The red color of the flag, swastika or savastika, the so-called the black sun in the middle, which is an ancient symbol of a hidden energy in all of us, which leads to the third eye, an energy so close to the sexual energy, which Quran says is the energy of the demons trying to misguide the children of Adam since the very first moment Adam and Eve ate the apple and their sexual organs and the above-mentioned sexual energy manifested themselves in their body in heaven. And of course, even the red color is the color connected to magic and the demons. Just take a look on every football club in the UK nicknamed after the devils and demons. For example, Manchester United, the red color of their shirts. Seems odd, isn't it? National Socialism of Hitler hugely, hear it again, hugely and unbelievably was connected to magic and occultism, and of course the occult rituals. As we said, they were anti-Jew, meaning the Jews living there in Germany and France, which originally were Khazars, not real Jews. National Socialism was so much anti-East too, anti-Slavic. They went as far as calling them subhumans. Imagine. World War II started when Hitler attacked Poland to free the Germans living in Danzig, an area belonged to Germany before the World War I. Germans there were massacred in an absolute inhuman way by the Polish military force. Danzig was originally a German area departed from Germany after their loss in World War I. For more information, just Google it. At the same time Hitler attacked Poland, Stalin and the USSR gathered all its military might to attack Europe, which has always been their goal since the start of communism, namely integrating Asia and Europe and the creation of a giant island called Eurasia. In an absolute weird action, England and France declared war on Germany. Even so, the Germans hadn't any intention to attack them, and has planned to use all its might to confront the USSR from the east. Odd, isn't it? We are being called that England and the West were enemies of the East. England and France was really controlled by Europeans? I don't think even today they are controlled by Europeans. See the migration. In an absolutely crazy action, the US too declared war on Germany. meaning the Germans had to fight war on all fronts. Even so, Hitler managed to even take some parts of the USSR at some part of the World War II, but at last, due to the bad weather and lack of human resources, they lost the war. But there are declassified documents that Hitler never committed suicide. So what happened? Trump declared it. Remember? Trump declassified it 2 years back. So what happened? The docs say he and a small group went to Argentina, and from Argentina to their base in a cold, far-away Antarctica, in a base called the Base Berlin. Because Germans, as I said before, were much after the occult sciences, and they had a base there in Antarctica, which many docs say is the place where the famous Atlantis civilization resided. There are numerous documents showing Germans had taken their unbelievably high technology by using magic and the occult sciences. Can you believe it? Imagine nearly 100 years back, when most of the world barely had cars, they managed to build missiles and remotely guided planes. Imagine? So odd, isn't it? Some docs shows they even managed to build the vehicles which we call today UFOs, unidentified flying objects. The docs also say Atlantis was a civilization of the so-called extraterrestrials, the so-called gods and pharaohs living in megalithic structures all over the world, from East Asia to the South America and famous Egypt, namely the hybrid children of the sons of Adam, mixing up with the so-called human-like creatures with elongated skulls, the so-called aliens, the occult beings in the world of DMT and LSD drugs. Imagine? The docs say the Germans have managed to live in the cold Antarctica and their base Berlin by using the energy emitted from the inner Earth. As you know, the Earth is kind of a dead sun. So inside of it, the core is still a kind of a sun and emits energy. Years after World War II, the Americans, with the leadership of Admiral Byrd, initiated a huge operation, a huge military operation called Operation High Jump. You can Google it. They went to Antarctica to fight with their enemy. But the amazing thing is that they never said who was their enemy. And by the way, did you know most of the high technology we have today, even the famous NASA, has been initiated by the German scientists taken by the US through their intelligence service, CIA. Well, that says all of the story, isn't it? What do you think about the rising of the high number of UFOs in recent years? And even the CIA has admitted it. Are they Germans or extraterrestrials?